I've really tried to get them to pick cooler names, like engineering names, like project manager and CFO, and you know, like business type titles, but they just wanted to stick with president, vice president, treasurer, whatever. That's their decision. And those kids, they nominated each other and they voted on each other, democratic process right there, so that, again, giving them more ownership in their team and what they're doing. They're leading themselves. Your job is to mentor them. They say, I want to get this done. Okay? What do you need to get it done? And they'll tell you, okay, we need this, this, and this. All right? My job is to get those things for you. My job is to help you accomplish what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you we should build a robot this way or we should do this fundraiser. What do you want to do? If they choose the fundraiser and they organize it, they're going to be more into it. They're going to be more committed to it. I had our driver, our team leader now, she wanted to start this WISC program, Women in Science and Technology. We invite over 100 Girl Scouts to our school. They spend the whole day at a couple different workshops. Learning about robotics. They get a chance to drive a robot, they get a chance to build this little thing and use tools, and then at the end of the day they get a robotics merit badge. And she organized that. One of my students was like, I want to do this, I want to organize it, and she got it done. It was extremely successful for promoting science and technology in our community, and it was a great fundraiser. We made like $2,000 because the parents paid for the kids to come to that. So not only was it a great fundraiser, but it was a great promotional thing for our community, and it really shows like promoting science and technology. That's what this is all about. They like to say in FIRST that the robot is the biggest trick they ever played on the kids, because it's not about building the robot. It's about learning science, it's about applying yourself, it's about working as a team. And anything you can do to get them to practice those skills is good. The robot is second. That's why it's the big trick on them. They think they're just there to build a robot, but they're really there to learn basic life skills they're going to need in college and in the workplace.
Yeah, with the WISP organization, was that an example of an existing organization, or was that something you were establishing from within the school?
That is a pre-existing thing, and she wanted to bring it into ours, and so she organized that event using that model and that framework.
Okay. Was that her senior project?
You know, I don't know if she used that as her senior project. It was just something she was passionate about and wanted to do. So we got it done. We're doing it again this year. We actually do it. We're going to do it twice this year, once in the fall and once in the spring. And it's really fun to see the little Girl Scouts come in and play with robots. It's a fun day. Sub-teams. You need to organize yourself into sub-teams. This may or may not. You may need more sub-teams or less sub-teams based on how many kids you have. I got like 35, 40 kids, so I have like 6 different sub-teams. If you only have 15 kids, they're all going to be on the same sub-team, so you may not need them. Like we have electronics, fabrication, public relations, which is a huge one. You know, the kids who just want to make posters or give speeches and promote and do that kind of stuff. Mechanism, the big giant arms, like someone's got to sit down and design the big giant arm that manipulates the game piece. Drivetrain is huge. What else? But like, and then a lot of times, you know, mechanism and drivetrain are kind of one and the same. Those kids are going to be interested in the same stuff. So you're going to have a mixture. The same kids will be on different sub-teams, and then you have your programmer kids. Your programmer kids are most likely going to want to be on the electronics team too. So, because the program, yeah, those things relate. So, like a big team compared to maybe a rookie small team, you may or may not need all those sub-teams. Team moms / dads, you absolutely need them. I have 3 team moms that work immensely hard and are so willing to do anything I ask at the drop of a dime for a robotics team. An example of that is this week we got asked to do a presentation at the Issaquah School Foundation on Thursday, and it was Monday. We kind of dropped the ball on it, and I called her the day before, hey, I need a chaperone, I need you to go down with these guys. She showed up, no questions asked, she was there on time, took the kids, she was great. They also help with like organizing your field trips. If you go do the Portland Regional, you gotta like get a hotel, you gotta reserve your rooms. That takes time. For me, I'm a teacher, I also have to teach, so I gotta do my lesson plans and whatnot. Organizing those kind of hotel trips and whatnot is very time consuming. Time on the phone, looking for the best price, how do you pay for it, collecting the funds from the students. Those are kind of secretarial things that I personally myself don't have a lot of time for, so my team moms are there for me. They take the reins on that kind of stuff, and they get it done, and they do a great job. So organization, organize your team. You're going to have to choose, I think, as first-year teams, maybe a mentor-style leadership group will be better, because a lot of your kids aren't going to be familiar with stuff. It's going to be more direct teaching, more, okay, here's the challenge, here's how we do it, these are our resources, and they are going to be more like follow along. Once you establish your team, maybe you can transition into a student leadership kind of roles, where the kids take the reins a little bit more, because you'll have some more experienced kids who can do some more things. So that's going to be a decision for you guys, whether you want to just try to get some, if you have some inspired kids who are ready to jump in right away, maybe you can do that. If not, you hopefully have some good mentors who are willing to come in, do some training sessions, and show them more than lead them, if that makes sense. Preseason, it's good to spend a lot of time just training kids, especially because they're not going to know much, or you get new kids every year that don't know anything, and so you have to introduce them to things. Try to do like some basic stuff, like just do a training session on this is what torque is, this is what force is, this is the Pythagorean theorem, this is what a circuit is. Simple, basic stuff that they'll need to know, so that during the build season, when you're like, okay, what size motor do we need? Okay, we need a 32 Newton meter motor. What? And the kid needs to know what a Newton meter is. They need to know what a torque is. They need to know what a force is. They need to know how to use a meter stick so they can measure things. So just in the beginning of the year, before build season, try to do some things where they practice using those basic skills, so that when it comes time to build a robot, they can keep up with the conversation. So many times I've seen the newer kids, the veteran kids are like, blah, 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 and they're having these great ideas and these really intense discussions about design and what they need. And the newer kids are just kind of looking at them like, I have no clue what they're talking about. But if you can just get some vocabulary kind of things in there, some basic training, they can at least recognize the words and try to keep up and interject and be more involved. SolidWorks, Autodesk, CAD design stuff. I have a great mentor who works with Flow. He comes in, he does Friday afternoon sessions teaching kids how to do SolidWorks, which is really great, because then you can actually produce parts that you need for your robot and print out drawings. So your CAD kid, like, go in the computer, design a part, give that drawing to the fabrication team. Here, fab me this part. And they'll have a nice, real professional looking engineered drawing that the kid can build a part from. So, I don't know, first year teams, maybe SolidWorks, Autodesk stuff. You're not going to need that. You're going to kind of be more like me personally. I'm like more of a garage engineer, where we sit around and just cut things up and weld them together. Using tools, the funnest part of this is watching a kid like use a wrench for the first time. Like, they have no concept of how to like use a wrench. I mean, we gave a training exercise the other day where we took an old robot and I took the new kids and like, okay, disassemble this old drivetrain and chassis. And you have kids like put a wrench on a bolt and they're turning the bolt and they don't realize that there's a nut on the other side of it that they also need to hold. So then you're like, well, look what you're doing, and they're turning the wrench and they're like, well, that's still spinning. Hand them another wrench. Okay, ding, ding, ding. So try to do some basic training stuff like, how do you use a power drill? Do you really need to hold it straight up and down? Yeah, that's going to matter, or else your bolt won't go through the box beam or whatever. A really good idea I stole from someone else is you have the kids fabricate a dice. And I was lucky enough, there was actually one in here. Yeah, see a dice. Have them make their own dice. Get some 1" by 1" solid aluminum. Have them make a sketch. Okay? The fours, on the 4, each little dot is so many millimeters from the side. This one is centered. Have them create a drawing for it. Have them cut it. Have them mark where the holes go. And then have them drill the holes. They'll also need to tap the holes. Simple training exercises like that will teach them basic skills that they'll need to know. I mean, you would think, okay, I'm just going to take my drill and go, make my 6 dots. What they don't realize is that, well, first you need to clamp your piece of metal to a desk. Second, if you put your drill on it, your drill bit's just going to sit there and spin and dance around if you don't tap it first and mark where your hole's going to go. So simple training exercises like that will teach them basic skills before you get into build season.